Hey you guys, this is Christina with Leads and Leverage, and I'm here today. It's very interesting. The light wasn't like that a minute ago. I'm using some new tools, some new tech today. It looks like it's okay on the computer, and my iMac decided that it didn't decide to restart. I just thought, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and restart it. And it's a major update, I guess. So I'm using a variety of tools today. I'm working from the Facebook Creator app. And we're going to talk about the topic here, and it's about this as well. But I'm working on using this Facebook Creator app. Facebook's really wanting us to go live through their Creator app. So this is a test, and I have noticed that there have been many times that I've not been able to see people's comments, but I can see Christian's comment on this time. So I have my computer open at the same time so that I can look and see your comments as we go through today. So I'm delivering information for you guys today, but I'm also testing. So it would be great if you guys would say hi, like Heather. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Christian. Say hi and let me know so I can see. It's very different using this Creator app. And so this is a great test, and I appreciate you guys working with me through this test. So let me make sure I can see everybody's comments on my other device here. Just one moment. Let me see if I can see this so I can see all of your comments. Okay, so I'm not seeing everybody's comments on there, but it looks like I'm seeing everybody's here. So thank you so much. All right, so today's live stream is a little bit different than it's been the last few days. I've been working with you guys on some mindset stuff and how to overcome obstacles and barriers. And guess what? I'm not going to leave that subject today because what we're talking about is going to end up going back to that. Hi, Stacy. So here's what precipitated this, or what triggered this. Inside the Leads and Leverage membership, one of my members asked, and I love it when members ask questions, because when one person asks a question, there are more people with that question. They just haven't asked it yet. So she said, I'm starting to see chatter about auto-scheduled posts through Edgar, or she didn't say, she just said Edgar because that's who I recommend, or Hootsuite, or SmarterQ, or any third-party tool, okay? I'm starting to see chatter about auto-scheduled posts through these tools being a negative thing with this new algorithm. Christina, could you share your insight? So, yeah, I have a whole bunch of insight on this, you guys. So, the first one is, since the beginning of time, or since the beginning of the creation of third-party posting tools, there have been two divides, okay? There are the people who are purists and you should never, ever use anything but directly on Facebook. And that's what Facebook says. They'll say that. That's not what Facebook says, but they'll say that. And never ever, you should always schedule your own stuff. You should use Facebook's tool. You should use this, blah, 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 blah. Hi, Mara. And then there's the other side that let's automate everything. Let's put everything out there. It's just about getting noise out there. It's just about getting stuff out there. Okay. So, and then you'll see all of these supposed tests, and I say supposed tests, proving one way or the other. And what I mean by one way or another, does using a third-party tool to schedule your posts, does it negatively affect your reach? That's the actual question that's going on right now, especially in light of the new algorithm. And you're going to find tests that say yes and tests that say no. None of them are right. You're like, okay, great. What does that mean? Here's the thing. You can never, ever, ever duplicate a test on Facebook. It's not possible to duplicate the exact same conditions. You can't use two different pages to get an actual comparison. If you use the exact same page, you can't post your posts at exactly the same moment. One post affects the other, always. There's no way to actually test and see if you're getting more reach or less reach with posts. Different times, different weather, different everything affects it, okay? So that's the first thing. The reality is that as business owners, as real estate agents, we are trying to find leverage in whatever we can find leverage in. So the algorithm, so here's the thing, the third-party tools are actually neutral. The tool itself is neutral. It's how you use the tool that makes all the difference in the world. So it comes down to your content versus your audience. And that's where people are starting to see the effect of that negative effect. It's not the third-party content. It's not the third-party tool. It's the fact that we're not paying attention to what our audience is actually engaging with. Here's what Facebook actually wants. Through all of these algorithm updates, these 2 words were used over and over and over again. These 2 words, all right? So this is the entire algorithm change in 2 words. Facebook's goal is meaningful engagement. Meaningful engagement. That means as real estate agents, if we're just throwing stuff up to keep our pages looking busy and there's no engagement on it, we're gonna see a decline in our reach. If you're using content, like we provide content inside Leads and Leverage, so 4 pieces of content every single day. I use that as a foundation. That content is meant for you to go, okay, let me test it. Let me see what my audience likes the most and then deliver more of that. It's meant to help fill a need for you having to go out and find content that they might like. So just a minute, guys. So how you're using the content is the whole thing. It is not about the tool, it is about the content. If you're not taking content, like Facebook is penalizing posts that just share a link. If you just share a link and you offer 0 commentary or 0 thought or 0 extra text on that link, Facebook's penalizing it. You're not going to get pushed out. It's not the same kind of reach. If you are just sharing, it's all about, so that's what it's about. Let me go on to the next piece of this. Every single time there's an announced algorithm update. Now, just so you guys aware, there are always algorithm updates. Always. They're always happening, constantly. We know of about 30 pieces of the thousands of pieces that go into the algorithm. That's what we actually know about. That's what actually Facebook actually gives out to us, tells us. Maybe 30 things about all the, 30,000 different ways the algorithm works. It's insane. So we hardly know anything about the algorithm itself. But here's the other piece of that. When there's an announced algorithm changed, a couple times a year, an announced one, it's a big one. And they announce it most of the time because people have started noticing it. So it's already been happening. It's already been noticed. And so what's been happening over the last 6 or 8 weeks is people have noticed this works really good, then it doesn't. This works really good, then it doesn't. And if you've been with Facebook, especially using it as a business for several years now, you have gone through the phases of, text-only questions, that's what you have to do right now. So then everybody does text-only questions because that's what's getting the biggest reach, right? Then it was pictures. Whoa, pictures. We need to just do pictures. That's what we need to do. So then everybody dives over to pictures. And Facebook's like, dude, you guys, you're a bunch of idiots. You're acting like you're chickens with your heads cut off. Stop trying to chase the algorithm and start giving meaningful information. Create meaningful engagement. That is the words that they use, meaningful engagement. You need, as a real estate agent, you need a nice balance of types of content. That means text only. That means uploaded video. That means Facebook Lives. That means photos and memes. That means a link every now and then. No, Facebook does not love sending people off of Facebook. However, if you have 0 engagement on any other post, they're definitely not sending people off of Facebook. You need all of these on your page. You also need to have meaningful engagement on your profile. Your profile and your page now both affect your ads. All of those affect your ads. So the way to not throw your hands up and go, I give up, is to always be focused. In fact, I'm going to share this right now. Focus minimizes distractions, lowering your risk of being blindsided. Here's the thing with that. You need to be focused on figuring out, first of all, building an audience. As a real estate agent, it needs to be a local targeted audience. You need people who have the capacity to use your services. If they're under 18, they're not going to be able to use your services. If they're not, ideally they need to be a homeowner. And the reason why I say they already need to be a homeowner is because that's the easiest to target on Facebook. It is easier to find homeowners because of the demographic targeting information and ads than it is to find renters. So ideally, you would target people in a zip code who own a home in a specific zip code. You need to create an audience. And then from that audience, you need to discover what they like, what they want to engage with you with. Is that a question every now and then? Is that a Facebook live stream? Is that local photos? Is that sharing home tours? Doesn't matter if they're local or not. That's a whole bunch of things. And when we give out inside leads and leverage, when we give out the content for you guys to use, it is up to you to make that content meaningful to your audience. So you need to look at that and go through that content list and go, okay, look at my insights. What has Facebook pushed out? And what is my audience engaged with? I'm gonna tell you right now, it is not always the same thing. Facebook will push out a lot of stuff over here. Like they're really pushing out live streams right now. But they've gone through periods of really doing big, huge pushes of live streams, and they've gone through periods where they haven't. So when live stream first came to Facebook and it was open to everybody, and I started doing it, I would get tens of thousands of reach. And my page was much smaller. It's about half the size that it is now. Tens of thousands of reach. Now I don't get that same kind of reach. However, I get a lot more reach doing live streams than I do doing anything else on my page right now, right this moment. However, I've also noticed that I've been there's a few quotes that you guys absolutely love that go bonkers. So you can't just pick one thing and go with it. You need to see what meaningful engagement is to your audience. Okay, so Heather says, so assuming I'm using all the L&L monthly provided content and follow your suggested posting schedule, do I need to make any changes? Yes, probably, but this is going to be unique to your page and the reach that's going out, but I'll dive into some specifics for you here. The only thing I've changed is replacing local photos with extra articles because I was hearing the photos repeated too often. So what I would do, Heather, the first thing I would do, I would get more photos. People love, when you're targeting a local audience, you need local content. Now, if the photos are, if the photos are repeating too often, yeah, that makes sense. You need local content. That is huge for your page. So what you can do, there's a couple of things that you can do. One, obviously, like I teach inside the membership, please go take a lot more photos. Take a lot more photos. Don't just post the photo. You need to post something that is, in Facebook's words, meaningful to go along with the photos. Meaningful text, like thought-provoking. And no, you don't have to be like Socrates or anything like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what's your take on it? Why did you take the photo? I get it, it was to put it on the page, but what led you to take that particular photo? What did you like about it? What were you thinking? Oh, that's a great photo. I think other people would like that. Or, I really like this piece of it, but I don't like this piece of it. I wonder what other people think. You need to create text with it to elicit engagement, solicit engagement, whatever, to create meaningful engagement. That's your goal. So it takes a little bit more thought process, but so does building an audience that turns into a relationship to become a client. That's huge. So I would suggest the changes I would make, Heather, are number one, definitely a lot more local photos. Number two, I would look at your insights on your page, and I would look at every post over the last month, and just on that page and look at those insights. And then I would look and see, okay, which posts did Facebook push out more than others, and which posts did people react to than others, and see if you can find some sort of rhythm from that, and okay, they're liking these kind of posts over these kind of posts. So here's one thing that I have found. I post a lot I have a lot of content on my blog that I've written, and I post those links. Facebook does not like pushing those links out. Like, I get very little reach on those links. However, I get some of my highest engagement on those links, meaning people click through them. When Facebook does push them out, people click through them. So I am not just going to feed the algorithm because I want to feed my audience. I want to give my audience what they actually want, even if Facebook's not going to push it out. However, which that means that I'm not going to stop posting that information. That is information, that is training, that is education that you guys want. But that does mean that I got to go, okay, what else is Facebook looking for? They're looking for me to do live streams. They're looking for me to upload. They don't love uploaded video as much, but when it's short, like under 2 or 3 minutes, they like that. They're also looking for me to put up engaging posts, which is one of the reasons I talk about doing post engagement ads. That helps your overall influencer. It helps you with the algorithm, with what's going on. Now, from what I've said of that and what I've talked about on that, Heather, would you ask me any clarifying questions? Did I miss a piece of this that you need more detail on? Did I were you looking for a little bit like a different way the answer is laid out, et cetera, and let me know so that I can finish answering that for you. Stacy said, my audience likes things that have nothing to do with real estate. How do I let them know that I'm a realtor? Your job is not to let them know that you're a realtor. Your job is to let them enjoy their life in your town, and you are the facilitator of that enjoyment. You will let them know you're a realtor because as you're enjoying your life in your town, you're going to share those moments with them. You're going to share who you are. You're going to share, thoughts, random stuff. It is not about pushing out that you're a realtor. It is about pushing out that, hey, I live here too. We have something in common by sharing these different things that you have. We have something in common. And then I'm here to meet your needs. And that's when you do different ads and different engagement options. There's no black and white. That's the thing. There's some very clear paths to follow, like don't run opt-in ads as soon as you start your page because you're going to get your ad account shut down. That's a big one. Agents do. They just want to run opt-in ads. And don't only run opt-in ads. You need to have a balance of content that's going out, engaging that audience. You need to have targeted people in that audience. Your goal is to build relationships with them. When you build relationships with people, they're naturally curious. It's going to come out that you're a realtor because you're going to share things. If you go out somewhere, when we were actively working with clients in the real estate industry, at least once a week, if not 50 times a week, but not really, but if at least once a week, we were out at an activity, whether it was eating or at an event or something, because we were in real estate, either because we were with clients, we were supporting clients, we were celebrating clients, something. We were always at something. That is the kind of stuff you need to share. You need to share the community. You need to share those things. You also need to educate, which is what I was talking about, the content, where there's stuff that content does not like to push out that I put on my page, but you guys love that stuff. So you need to share that. So that's why you have to have a balance. And that's why I have a balance of a lot of live streams. And I have a lot of post engagement type stuff. Here's an example, totally unrelated to, so my page right now, you guys are on it, is Leads and Leverage, and I help real estate agents sell more houses. That's my underlying goal for you guys. That's what I want to help you guys do. At the same time, if you guys have seen recently, I just shared a video of a cute little dog, I think it was a beagle, trying to like stand up, and he falls over backwards. And the meme of this was, this is what it feels like to be short, or something like that. Completely unrelated to lead generation. I thought it was funny. I'm not short. I'm not tall, but I'm not short. But I have some short girlfriends, and they giggle and laugh over this all the time. So I thought, oh my gosh, I bet people could relate to this. So I put it out. So because I just thought it was something that amused me, and I put it out. That's a piece. You don't want all that stuff, obviously, but that's a piece of what makes your page engaging, is when you put things out that share things that you're dealing with, or dilemmas, or whatever it is. Share you. I giggled over that because there are some times where I can relate. I have two sons that are over 6 feet tall, and I swear the youngest, he's like 6 or 6'1" now. He just turned 15, and he's always like, I'll say, do you want to come with me to do XYZ? He's like, not really. I go, and he's like, do you need my height? I'm like, I do. So, he knows that. And so I just thought that was a funny thing to share, but that's an example of something completely unrelated to my industry, in your industry, but it's fun. People like it. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Okay. Heather says, I need personal text on articles, home tours, etc. too, or primarily pics. I'm not sure I can properly interpret it. Facebook analytics. You need to have, I'm going to keep using this word because we're all still trying to define it, but you need to have a meaningful engagement. So when you're sharing something, you need to be intentional about that share. If you're going to put it on your Facebook page, there needs to be some intentionality behind it. I get it. The intentionality is just keep my page going so people have stuff and they see me and I'm top of mind, blah, blah, blah. It needs to be even deeper than that. So if you share a picture, you need to talk about that picture. You need to share why you're sharing that picture. You need to something. It doesn't need to be profound, but it needs to reveal your purpose behind it, even though your purpose behind it is to eventually get more customers. So you need to reveal that purpose. Like, why are you sharing that particular piece? If it's a home tour in New Zealand, for example, what I love about some of the home tours I'm finding coming out of New Zealand and Australia is a lot of the kind of the warm modern look. Me personally, that's what I like. We have a mid-century modern home. I don't like strict mid-century modern. I like that kind of updated modern. And so when I see homes like that, I like to share them because I'm like, ooh, I love the wood in this, or you know, I don't know. At first I didn't like this, but now I do. That's what I mean by sharing verbiage and words. Share your thoughts, share things you like, and focus on that. So, you know, go through the home tours that I give you and pick the ones you really like, the pieces you're like, ooh, I love this rock fireplace. Or, you know, me personally, I live in the Pacific Northwest, and I do not like the whole Northwestern thing with all the log wood and the, just like, I don't like it. I don't dislike it. It almost feels contrived and fake to me. That's me personally. Gosh, if you love it, that's awesome. Not everybody loves mid-century modern. In fact, a lot of people don't because it feels cold and austere, which is why I don't like traditional mid-century. I'm using these as examples to explain to you why you need to figure out things that you can actually resonate with yourself from that content that I give you, that you can push out so that you can share something that can help create meaningful conversation. Some of the things you can do, some of the questions that I give you guys, those can really create meaningful conversation. I asked a question on my personal profile that it wasn't a yes, no question, but people are giving me like paragraphs of answers. That's what Facebook wants to see. Like right now, you guys on this live stream is probably going to do better than any other live stream I've done in the last week. Here's why: because you guys are asking me really long, thoughtful questions. You're engaging with me in a way that's creating back and forth conversation. That's what Facebook wants. They want meaningful conversation. So did I miss? Okay, I'm going to click like on all the ones that I've gotten so far. Good morning, Brian. How are you? And I got Stacy's. I got Heather's. Okay, Rebecca says, how often should we post real estate related content on our page? So here's the thing. It's not about whether it's real estate related or not. It's about how well your audience engages with it. And remember, your focus is to promote a lifestyle. You're trying to create an environment where your audience feels safe and not sold to. That's what you're trying to do, because you're trying to move them to that next step, that next ladder in relationship building. And the way to move somebody along that ladder is to not sell at them and not preach at them. Give them insight. Give them different insight to different things. So Rebecca, you talked about, open house tours, pictures of a grand opening of a grand opening ceremony or something like that. Here's the thing. You want to give them, like, why would they care about a picture of a grand opening of a community? Why would they care about that? Go beyond that. We almost need to become investigative journalists, but not to find out like what's the deep reason, but to find out what what the people that we're trying to attract actually want. And when we do that and we show that through our content, they become to know, like, and trust you, and they become so loyal, so incredibly loyal. They're not going to consider anyone else because they know you're going to tell them the truth. They know you're going to treat them kindly. They know you're going to be gentle with them. They know you're not going to make fun of them. They know that you're not going to condescend them. They know that regardless of whether they're a multi-million-dollar buyer or seller or a $10,000 or $20,000 buyer or seller, it doesn't matter where they're at. You're going to invest in them as people. And that's what the consumer is looking for. We try to say it's about communication. We try to say it's about all this other stuff, but really it's do they care about me? Do they care about me more than the almighty dollar? Do they, are they honest? Are they going to actually tell me that, are they going to put me in, can I trust them to guide me, that, knowing what I want, to push me into, can I trust them to guide me to what I really want? Can I trust them that if the perfect house for me is $100,000 less than my budget, that they'll actually show me that house? Can I trust them that they'd be willing to give up their commission, meaning not close a deal when they see that a lender has taken advantage of me that I didn't know about? That's what they're looking for. They're looking for actual acts of honesty, not you saying you're honest. They're looking for your loyalty. And I realize that that's what we're looking for too. We're looking for people to tell us truthfully what they want. We're looking to read between the lines to see what it is they truly want, etc. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build relationships. And that's what social media is doing for us. And that's what Facebook's really meaningful engagement. That's what they're looking for. Okay, Rebecca says, could you clarify what you mean with don't run? Okay, so here's what I said. I said, when you have a brand new Facebook business page, and as a realtor, this is what happens. We open up a brand new Facebook page, or we have a Facebook page that we've done nothing with, right? And then we start running opt-in ads. Opt-in ads is where you drive traffic off Facebook. So you drive it to an IDX registration, or you drive it to a landing page to get their email and opt-in. Lead ads, where you can get that, these are questionable on the in-between. But if you don't have any engagement on your page, you don't have content going on your page that people are interacting with, you don't have a targeted page-like audience, if you're not running like page-like ads that keep people on Facebook that are responding to you, so Facebook can go, oh, it looks like this is a legit page. They're not just trying to, run an ad to whatever, to spam people, and you're running post-engagement ads, then you run opt-in ads. Then you run the hard-cutting ads. You don't run those right away. And I have seen ad accounts shut down over and over and over again because that's what they do. That's what agents do. We're so used to going, okay, how can I run an ad to get a lead? That's all we want to do. And I got to tell you, it's going to get a lot harder to get leads on Facebook. Excuse me, my throat was drying up. It's going to get a lot harder to get leads on Facebook if all we're focused on is how do I get a lead? Because Facebook is very, very, very focused on meaningful engagement. If you are not investing time into creating and building relationships through your Facebook business page, your ads are going to suck. I don't care. You're going to be chasing the perfect ad all over the place. And believe me, there are going to be vendors out there trying to sell you the perfect ad. They're going to. It's not going to happen. You're going to be chasing. Remember this over here where I said, focus minimizes distractions, lowering your risk of being blindsided. If you focus on building a relationship with your audience on Facebook, engaging with them, giving them stuff that they like, learning about, that takes time. It takes time to figure out, and it changes and it shifts. If you just focus on that, you're going to get, yes, we'll run opt-in ads and we'll get more leads and we'll drive them into things, but you're going to get people opting in. Here's a perfect example. I am not on all these live streams that I've been doing the last about 10 or 15 days. I've been doing a ton of quick live streams on Facebook. This one's longer than normal because there's a lot more to teach you guys, but I've been doing a ton of live streams on Facebook. I have not been promoting anything about like any opt-ins, nothing. My opt-ins into my email database have tripled. I have not even, none of these videos say, please go here to sign up for this. Here's the freebie I'm giving away. Not a single one, but my opt-ins have tripled. So that says something. Now I have it so people in different places, like in the header photo, and I have it in all the places that I teach you where to put your opt-ins. I have that in there, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. I've been on here focused on just serving and helping and teaching and inspiring and motivating. So what can you do? How can you use the content that I give you to provide your foundation? And then what can you do in your community? You don't need to be creative. You just need to be engaging and consistent. You also need to have I have a couple more points here. You need to have a balance between your profile and your page. You can't ignore one over the other. So some of you are like, I'm just going to do it on my profile. Here's the problem. If you are scheduling posts, and I know a couple of my members are, and I don't think the one that I've seen the most recent doing it, but if you're using a third-party tool to schedule the content that I give you inside the membership and it's going to your personal profile, you're going to die. Not really die, but Facebook's not liking that. And if your personal profile is not engaged, it affects your page, it affects your ads. It's all one big happy family. It all affects everything. You cannot stand autonomous to any of it anymore. And so you need to make sure you're not scheduling those posts to your profile, period. Your profile is about random moments or things that you want to share that create some sort of engagement. I've been very, very, very careful about my profile over the last several months. There are some times where I have a lot more to share in a day, but for the most part, I share one thought or one share or one picture in a day. I make sure that what I'm sharing is something that I know at least one or two other people that are in my friends or that are connected to my profile can relate to. And that's, so can they relate to this? Will this ostracize them? Will this, encourage them? So that is, it's important on that. All right. The next thing, if you want successful ads, your page has to be engaged. Now, there is this idea that, if you're under a certain amount of engagement, your page is dead, etc. I mean, it's not an idea. It's a formula, not made up by Facebook, but it's a formula. But if you want successful ads, you have to have an engaged audience. You have to. Facebook will charge you more. Like if you're not putting out content that people like on your page and you're not working on tweaking that content and getting it to be something that people like and stuff, Facebook looks at that and goes, okay, well, we're going to be very careful with this ad then. Or we're just not going to push it out. Or we're going to we're going to push them out last in the, excuse me guys, in the line of ads that we have to put out today. It's kind of like, it's not like a newspaper where if you put an ad in the newspaper, that newspaper physically goes out to everybody. But it is like a newspaper where if you put, a cheap ad, you get way in the middle section where nobody goes or whatever, wherever it is, not the middle section, but wherever the sections are that nobody really goes, that's what you get for that ad, right? But if you pay a lot for an ad, you might get the front page. However, if your ad kind of sucks and just doesn't do anything and it doesn't help the newspaper and there's better ads out there, people are going to respond to the better ads. They're just going to. And so your your page needs to be engaged to have successful ads. The other thing is you need to stay focused on serving, on engaging. You need to serve and engage. If that means giving them an insider secret to the building that's going on, and like Rebecca talked about a brand new community, you know what? Give them insider secrets. Show them the houses that are being built. Give them a daily update on a community. I mean, focus on that and really give it. If you can get, walkthroughs before they put the locks on the door of the house and kind of, even with the builder representative to walk through a house every now and then, do that kind of stuff. People like that. Yes, it's real estate related. And you don't say, hey, if you want to buy or sell, blah, blah, blah. You just talk about it. Talk about the differences in the community compared to another community. Talk about, the different amenities. Show the different amenities that people can get. I know when we were looking last summer or last spring, actually, when we started looking at building, that's what we did. We went to, they were like, what do you know about what the amenities are? And they would walk us through different houses and different, features, what different features are. Here's this one, here's that one. Do that for your consumers. Do that on live streams. Those are good. Don't pitch a sale, just provide value. And then here's the thing is Facebook is not the easy pickings that people think because they aren't interested in the long haul. It's not going to be the easy pickings. We want to just put up an ad and get opt-ins. It doesn't actually work that way. It seems like it might, but it doesn't actually work that way. And it's not the easy pickings. It's going to be hard. Fewer agents are going to run ads. That's what's so interesting. There's not that many who are actually running ads now, or they run one and it doesn't work because nothing's set up right. Their page isn't set up right. Their audience isn't engaged. except they're just like, and they don't actually drive that ad to anything like they should, etc. But people, it's not easy pickings anymore. And people think because they think that it's easy pickings because they're not interested in the long haul, but they're going to give up when it's not easy pickings because they're not interested in the long haul. They're actually interested in the immediate deal only. I guarantee you guys, if you take some time and figure out how to engage with an audience and have meaningful engagement, not only is this going to you're going to rule Facebook. I am not kidding. You will dominate it, and everybody else is going to be wondering what you're doing. They're going to be throwing money at an ad here and throwing money at an ad there, not realizing that you set your page up the right way. You set your page up to be consumer focused and that you're providing value and you're researching your consumer. That's what you're doing when you look at your insights. You're researching your consumer. You're finding out what they need, what they want, what they desire. Here's the thing. You're going to rule Facebook. You're going to rule it. You're going to get the leads from Facebook because I guarantee you that 1 out of 1,000 agents, 1 out of 1,000 are going to take the time to do this. Here's the other thing. It's going to change your business, because it's going to spill over into everything else you're doing. It's not just going to stay on Facebook. You're going to turn into someone who's, oh, how could I serve people locally? How could I serve them here, face to face? What can I give them? How can I help them? Because you'll have mass quantities of research showing you and insights showing you what they actually want. You're not going to have other realtors or other vendors telling you what they think the consumer wants. You're going to have your consumer telling you directly what they want, showing you through their actions. I always think it's funny. I put a poll up. I used to do this every single year on Facebook. I would put a poll up for my Facebook friends, and I would specifically ask real estate agents not to answer this poll. They didn't listen. But of the ones, so when I get the people answering and they're not agents, I would ask them, what is the number one thing that you look for in an agent? Or what do you want? What do you wish your real estate agent had? Or I can't remember the exact wording. But here's the answer. Every single answer came down to, I want them to be honest. I want them to be authentic. I want them to tell me the truth. That's what they wanted, right? You know what every single answer a real estate agent gave? Every single one. Communication. Consumers want communication. So we turn that into touching them more or doing this more. No, they don't want communication. They want the real you. Would you buy that house? Would you? Why wouldn't you? Share why you wouldn't do it. Why would you? Share why you would. Set aside the almighty dollar and start serving people. We want to raise the bar in the real estate industry. That's how we do it. We serve them. We help them. We tell them, hey, this community right here, it's got a big road kind of across to where the actual water is. This is an example that somebody gave me. And she was doing a live stream and she shared, she said, I don't think I'd want to live here because I don't feel like it would be safe for my kids running across the road like that. People, like other agents, went up in arms about it. I'm like, that's what people are looking for. They want to know, what are the drawbacks to a community? It's not that it's not kid friendly. She was just thinking, if you have young kids and your waterfront is broken in half by a road in the front, may not be as safe as you want. Might not be something you like. Share that kind of stuff. Share the real stuff. Stop saying, I see ads in my feed all the time right now from agents in our local market that are starting to get into Facebook ads, and they're running these, now's the perfect time to buy or sell. And I'm like, really? It is? Tell me why. Give me a real reason why it's the perfect time to buy or sell. Because quite frankly, when I was looking last year, I would look, but it was really frustrating that there was just nothing on the market. And I was like, if I find something, great, but I'm not going to be out there active doing it because I'm not willing to uproot my family right now during this time when I'm just not really seeing what I see out there. Are you ever going to be honest with people? There are times of the year that it's not the best time to buy or sell. It really is. When we have sellers or owners who have people in their homes, like renters, they have renters in their home, and their leases are due up in the spring. That's how we set them all up in the spring. And they want to sell at the beginning of fall, and they've got 8 months left on their lease. I'm like, well, no, It's just not going to be worth it to you because number one, in Idaho, you can't break the lease. You could pay them, you could incentivize them, but you can't break the lease. It's safe on both sides, for the renter, for the tenant, and the landlord. And putting it on the market right now, you're just basically going to piss off the tenant. Nobody's going to want to see it. Only another investor is going to want to buy it. And frankly, investors are not buying these kind of rent-ready, this is a made-up scenario, these kind of rent-ready houses at this moment. I suggest you put it on the market about 45 days before the tenant leaves. We would do that. We would delay the listing and people would listen because we were delaying, we weren't lying to them. We weren't just trying to get a listing. So where are you different? Are you just trying to get a listing? Are you just trying to get a consumer? Are you studying all these script objections to try and get one right now? How about building some relationships? And this is where Facebook's it is going to change everything. Facebook's already changed a whole bunch, but it's going to change. We're going to see the real people the agents who truly care about the consumer. If they get on Facebook and they start using Facebook in a way to build meaningful engagement, they're going to change the industry. They're going to change it because consumers are going to expect engagement. They're going to expect honesty. They're going to expect, right now, the consumer expects smarmy. They expect to be treated like another number. That's what they expect. That's why we are seen as in the real estate industry. We can change that. Anyway, I kind of segued that. So let me look more questions. Ooh, lots of more questions. You're welcome, John, for tips. Rebecca says, I was thinking of doing live streams, sharing like a tip of the week based on something that I have come across with clients that week. How often should we be posting things like that? Okay, so there's two things about video that Facebook is really looking for. Number one, they want you to go live over uploading something. When you go live, you need to be live for at least 15 minutes. Just letting you know. If it's going to be something that's 2 or 3 minutes, record it and upload it. That's number one. Number two, they're looking for episodic. That's another word that they used. We're looking for episodic content. They are taking on YouTube. They're taking on Netflix. They are taking on everybody. They want people to live and breathe Facebook. Facebook TV, Facebook content, that's what they want. So they're taking on everyone right now. They hate YouTube with a passion. So if you ever have a video that you want to share from YouTube, don't bother. Go find it and see if it's uploaded on that YouTube channel's page, their Facebook page, see if it's uploaded on there, not share it, link share, but uploaded, then share that. So they're looking for episodic. So if you have a regular series every single week, Tuesday at noon, that's awesome. Or go live for 15 minutes or more, no more than 45 minutes. We're coming up on that now. No more than 45 minutes. And then the other piece to this is if it's going to be a 2 or 3 minute video, record it and upload it. So there you go on that. Rebecca says that makes sense. I love everything old Florida style. Oh, that's awesome. Old Florida style. So you should really be focusing on that. So instead of saying, oh, today I'm checking out the veranda's newest homes, blah, 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 would post about the lifestyle, not say necessarily anything about the houses. Right. You could talk about you could talk about how they emulate old Florida style, but yet they have these amenities. Like you show an amenity, show a sneak peek, show a house that's not quite done that you could get into and show people. Sneak peeks. They love that. Talk about the lifestyle. If you love old Florida lifestyle, that's what you should share. Absolutely. You're going to get people that are going to resonate with that. Rebecca says an easy overview sheet of what not to do, like don't run opt-in ads, etc. would be cool to have for members. Yes. And that is actually, Rebecca, we do have that inside the membership. It is the Facebook ad schedule. And it is a document that I created that shows you when to start your page like ads, when to start your post engagement ads, when to start your nurture ad, etc. Like how much time from the time that your page is ready to go on, how much time in between, and when to stop them, when to not stop them, etc. So that is in there. Heather said, is this change the reason my reach has gone down from thousands to 10? Possibly. However, Heather, it's still an upheaval. Yes, I know that the algorithm change has affected that, but there's upheaval right now. Facebook is still getting worked out and tweaked out. So what I would do is really focus on creating some meaningful engagement. I know I keep using that phrase, but that's the phrase that Facebook used. And so, and we can actually talk more about some meaningful engagement ideas around specific posts inside the membership. Totally, we can do that. Rebecca says, can you repeat that about the personal profile that has to have a lot of engagement too for our pages to do well? Your profile needs to be active and engaged because it does affect your page, because it does affect your ad account. Facebook's looking for meaningful engagement. Are you, as a person, business, ad driver, focused on engaging with people? That's what they're looking for. Fewer agents will run ads. You're correct, Rebecca. Ellen says, I love this. I'm committed to being honest. Don't care if I lose a few that way. You know what's interesting? You won't actually lose a few. You're going to gain people. You might have people. What you're going to lose, here's what you're going to lose, Ellen. You're going to lose agents as chummies. You will, because they're not going to like, some of them are not going to like what you're doing. They're not going to like that you're revealing things to the consumer. You do have to be careful about like FHA, like what you can say and can't say. So like that example that I used about maybe not wanting to live there if you have kids, you wouldn't say like it's not kid friendly. You have to use different words to express what you mean. It doesn't mean it's not a kid neighborhood. It means that it could be unsafe. So you need to be aware of how you're using the words so that they are not misunderstood. That's a big thing. Yes, Rebecca, at least 15 minutes, which is why some of my videos I'm pre-recording. If they're going to be less than 2 or 3 minutes, I pre-record them and I upload them. If it's a live, like these lives are always at least 10 minutes. Sometimes they're only 10 or 12 minutes, but I'm usually running in the 13 to, today is 45. There was a lot to share with you guys today. So Rebecca says, if we have randomable pages that are dead, should we delete them? I would at least unpublish them. So I have a lot of pages that were active before, and now like with our brokerage and our team and stuff, I have unpublished the pages because they're not maintained. They're not maintained anymore. So I've unpublished all those. Yeah, you can delete them if you want. There's no reason to have them, really, Rebecca. All right, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. If you're watching this in replay, please let me know your thoughts, your comments. I will come back here and try and help you as best as I can by replying. If it's something that requires a little bit more in depth, like this question, this actually was facilitated by Rebecca, this question inside the membership. If you have a question like that, I will run it on a live and I will help you guys through this. The biggest thing is don't panic. And keep giving different types of content, but make sure you're focused on being intentional with your content. That whatever you're putting out, whether it's a meme or a video or a text or whatever it is, that you're sharing the why behind it. That you're sharing the focus of, hey, I want this to help you, or I thought this was funny, or something. You need to create engagement. It's like standing in a whole group of people and just saying, the house is blue. People are going to look at you like, what? And then they're going to move on. You need to say, you need to do it differently. You need to act like people are actually there in front of you, because they're there. They're just virtual. They're there, and create a conversation. And sometimes our conversations won't be answered. That's okay. Keep trying. You're going to catch on. You're going to figure out what your audience wants. All right, you guys, that's all for today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.